Hey, good morning, ladies. Good morning, good morning. Good to see you again, Irma and Angie. I love doing life with y'all. It's good stuff. Good stuff. All right, and then we've got Catherine who is on. Hello, my friend. Hey, good to see you. Wow, today is day 50, the day of Jubilee. Woo woo! Day of Jubilee. So I'm reminded of Jubilee. Every time I think about Jubilee, I think about my grandma Dixie because she would mention that frequently. And so this morning, as I was preparing for today, I was like, all right, let me take a quick peek at that just as a refresh about what that actually means. And so the thing about Jubilee is it occurs every seventh Sabbath year and then every 50 years. So 50 is almost like this reset that we get to experience, like there's a rest and we are freed. We experience freedom and there's a rest. So back in the day, the way that people looked at Jubilee was it's an economic, cultural, environmental, and communal rest. So, and even in the years of harvest, they would take time off to reset and rest. And I thought, wow, how appropriate for us right now here on day 50 of our 60-day cycle. It's a chance to reset everything. It's a chance to rest from all of our labors and just really be at peace, which brings us to our reflection question that we had from yesterday. We talked all about peace. And the question of the day yesterday was, what does peace really look like for you? So hopefully you got a chance to think on that, and we'll hit on that. But before we do that, let's just go ahead and check in for a moment here. So how have you been doing? If you were to rate your journey in the last few days in Fit and Focused, what would you rate it on a scale of 1 to 5? So you can go ahead and post that in chat, or you're welcome to come off mute and share. While you're doing that, I'll just say that yesterday in particular was a 5 for me. I had to go back. I reverted to a detox day yesterday because my body was aching from, I don't do well with dairy. And as much as I try to love it, and I do love it, and as much as I try to make it work, it makes me feel like an old woman. So I don't I don't do well with cheeses and stuff like that. It's good going down, but the impact is my body says, no, don't do that. Oh goodness. All right. Let's see what we got here in chat. So Angie has a 4. Irma is a 3.5, and then Catherine is holding steady at a 4. Anyone care to elaborate? You can go ahead and post your rating in chat for those of you who are jumping on. Hey, Carol Cox, good to see you. Thank you for being on today. Hi. All right, Karen is still joining. So Catherine holding steady at 4. Yep.
I would say holding steady because I'm not, like I said, I'm just trying to navigate through focus, right? So, and every day is different. Every moment of the day seems to be different. So that's where my challenge lies. But that's why I feel like I'm holding steady. I'm holding steady. That's
Okay.
all I can say.
Okay. All right. So Irma, you've got a 3.5. Tell me more.
I've been doing a lot of little cheats. That's all I'm going to say.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Death and life are in the power of the tongue. We don't want to give life to, we don't want to give it any more.
That's right. Don't want to give it any more life.
That's right. That's right. All right. Hey, Karen, good to see you. So let's go back and revisit our reflection question that we had yesterday, because I actually did a lot of thinking about this, and the question came down to and was distilled down to, what does peace really look like for you in your life, and even with the coming holidays? We know that we're going to face things, we're going to face people who don't necessarily think like we do. And I know that all of us, we want peace. We want peace during the holidays. And so what is that? What actually does that look like for you? So who would be willing to share? Catherine?
There we go. Yeah, I did think a lot about that, and peace for me, what I'm discovering or experiencing maybe even, is that when I'm with other people or my family especially, I tend, or have in the past, I'm getting better, but I tend to lose myself. I absorb into them. And so for me, what I am trying to change is I want my peace, because when I absorb into other people, I'm not peaceful necessarily, right? Because it's whatever. But I'm trying to move that into staying in the Lord,
Yeah.
right? Because that is where I feel my peace. You know what I mean? Like, the more I do that, the more peaceful I feel. So that's what I'm realizing. So even as we've talked about this week in the prayer groups about family, and, now being in the holiday season, that's just something that I am really trying to embrace even more and work harder at, is just keeping that peace in the Lord.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And when we get with our family, I imagine that all of us at some point get lost in what's going on, or we get sucked in, I guess is the way to phrase it. We get sucked into whatever is going on. And here comes that need for control that shows up. And we want to try to contain and control the situations that are arising. And those are the things that can actually move us away from feeling that sense of peace. And so planning ahead, thinking about, okay, I know that these situations are going to come up. How can I stay centered on what God wants me to do? And how can I stay so ingrained in the Lord that I'm not tempted to just go and do something silly like binge on things because things aren't going well? And I don't know about you, but I think, now, how does that make sense? Right? How does it make sense that some kind of trouble or drama happens and I go binge and eat like that's going to solve all my problems? Right? It's kind of funny if you think about it. But yeah, so good thoughts there, Catherine. Good thoughts. Someone else, what does peace look like for you?
I would say for me, what I'm hoping for, praying for, because I'm gonna have a bunch of different companies and different personalities. I'm even having someone over that I know very little about. So
Mhm.
I'm just, I'm also just wanting to find making sure that everybody feels comfortable, love when they come into the door, right? And then that, you know, um, we find something to do that's fun. Like I like games. My
Yeah.
husband don't, but I like games, and I think the company is gonna like games, and maybe he'll partake. But just no drama, just a relaxed time and enjoying getting to know people
Yeah.
deeper, deeper level. Yeah.
So I
So
want to dig into what you were saying about, I mean, you like games and then the hubby is not that person. And so, I think about how different family members, we have differences and everything. And maybe peace looks like just letting that person be who they are. And,
that's
if
what.
they choose
Hmm.
not to, that's okay, right? That's their decision, but you're maintaining a sense of control because you're going to move forward with what you like doing and you're going to engage people and maybe he's better as an observer, right? So it's thinking through
Hmm.
I know I'm going to encounter this situation, so what's the mindset I'm going to walk in with?
So with him, the mindset is when we start playing games, he's going to say, "I'll see you guys later. I'm going to watch a movie." So I'm happy and he's happy and
Yeah,
everybody else is happy, No, I don't put those things on him. I know he doesn't enjoy it, so I don't worry about it. Um, so
yeah, sounds good. Someone else, reflections on what peace looks like for you.
I think peace is kind of one of those things. It's like it's hard to describe it, but we know it when we feel it.
Yeah,
And so, I agree with everyone about, what you've been saying the past 2 days about love, because love is peace because you meet people where they are and you accept yourself where you're at.
yeah,
And love also is not envious or boastful. So again, kind of going back to that sense of peace and control, or even just not having to get the last word.
yeah.
Kind of that soft answer comes from love and
Hmm.
not parading. And I've reread that part today after we got done with our call, and um, that would bring living that would bring peace. And the thing that I found that was interesting that I forgot is actually in the verse before, a couple of verses before, it says, if you have faith, it's nothing if it's that you don't have love. And so I think that kind of just brings back to when we talk about peace, love, and joy.
Yeah,
It's like they're a triad. I cannot necessarily articulate them real well, but I know it when we feel it. So
yeah.
I guess maybe peace, we all have a sense of belonging and love.
Right. Yeah, so we know that, and I absolutely love that reminder because we're going to go into this holiday and we want to be of a peaceful mindset, but we also need to have something that's filling us up so that when we do encounter a situation, not if, but when we encounter situations, we're not emptied out and we don't know how to respond. It may be that you're walking into a situation and there's drama between a couple or there's tension or something between people, but it's also just having the word hidden in your heart. And even if you're whispering under your breath, Lord, I just pray for patience and kindness and love over this person. I'm just praying over them, that the peace of God would fill their hearts. I mean, it's being able to just even under your breath speak those, or well, not an or, that's a must. That's like step number one, right? But then when we're dealing with people, not feeling like we have to control them or, oh, come on, you can, forcing them. I mean, how would we want to be treated? I know I like to just extend an open invitation. Hey, if you want to play, you're always welcome, but no problem. If you don't want to, it's not an issue. So it's really just about letting that go, coming back to the 4 R's, which we talked about last week. 4 R's is releasing. Peace requires us to release some of our preconceived notions. Peace requires us to release our need to control everybody and conform to what we think is fun or what we think is needful at the moment. It's releasing all of that, all of our, what we think, and releasing our mindset on what they're doing. And then the second is resisting, because the enemy will come at us. Well, they're not playing nice, or they're being ugly, or you want to throat punch them, right? I mean, resisting means when the enemy comes at you and is trying to disturb and disrupt your peace and trying to cause division, it's about saying, no, I'm going to act in a spirit of love, and I'm going to speak life, and I'm going to be encouraging. And it's already gathering scriptures that help you to maintain that posture. Hey, I submit myself to God. I resist you, enemy, and you have to flee. It's even talking to yourself in that way. And then it's reframing the situation. I'll give you an example. My son, around the holidays, he gets this defeated mindset. And I know that he's worn down because of the babies. He's a single dad. He's got 2 twins that take a lot of energy. He's had a couple of financial setbacks, and so now he's down in the dumps. And I know that he's going to show up that way. I already know that's how he's going to be. And reframing the situation for me is, hey, I'm going to stop trying to make him have fun, but instead I'm going to look at this, that he needs to observe us loving on each other, and he needs an invitation extended to him, but he gets to walk in choice, right? So we know that we mamas, we want to sometimes strong arm our kid, get over here and have fun. Right? But reframing the situation means to look at it from a completely different perspective. What's it like to be in that person's shoes? How would they want us to approach them? So it's thinking totally outside of what we would. And then the final R is restoring and restoration. It means just bringing a completeness, being in a state of rest of what's going on, and trusting that we've done everything to set the stage. We've gone to the Lord and asked him for his intervention. And restoration is walking in that peace and not letting the enemy pull us off and do silly things like go and binge because we didn't have a plan, right? We're more likely to jump off plan when we don't have a plan, when we don't have the tools ready, when we don't have the scriptures ready, when we don't have our food ready, or when we haven't already made a decision on how we're going to respond and not respond. All right. Anyone else have any thoughts about this? Anything? Maybe it's you've noticed something that's happened in the past, and this year you're going to respond differently. You're going to consciously go a different route than what you normally do.
I've kept to the schedule. I've kept to what I said I was going to do and didn't do more than that. Sometimes you, especially around Christmas, you feel like you need to do more or give more and things like that. And I literally said, this is it. I can't do any more than that. And I have stuck to it. And it's a relief. It's like it's a freedom that you don't realize you get once you do that.
Yeah.
And saying no, I can't do that, or not at this time. The budget doesn't allow.
Yeah.
I've already spent what I'm going to spend on the budget, and I can't do any more. And that alone uh, is a good feeling because January won't be so scary now.
Yeah. Yeah, that's called boundaries. It's called boundaries. You're on mute.
Yeah, I did that. Sticking to them, and sometimes you want to cross your own boundaries.
Yeah.
Well, I can do it. No, I can't. So sticking to the boundary and keeping that, um, that's a first release for me, and it helped me just let that go. And I'm like, okay, not a problem.
Yeah. We women, boy, we think the more, if we just do more stuff, if we could do more and more stuff, it would make everything better. And the truth is that it doesn't matter how much stuff you throw at somebody, it's never going to be enough for them, especially if they're in if they're in that deficit mindset, like I don't have this and I'm a victim, or, there's just drama. You can really get sucked into that. And I would even reframe that, hey, I can't do that. I think that's more of a choice. I'm choosing not to do that because I've got some boundaries that I need to keep, right? And one of those boundaries might be I want to make sure that I've got enough for what's coming in January. So I'm really making some smart decisions, and it's really best for everybody all the way around. Yeah. And if you are creating some new boundaries this year, guess what? Those boundaries are going to be tested. They're going to be tested. So it takes a few times for people to really get that you're serious. So you got to cling to that. Cling to the decisions that you've made and follow through with those. Angie.
For me, I am really working hard to approach things just incredibly differently than I really have in the past. And a lot of it has to do with what we've been focused on is self-control and controlling. And not only, I'm not even worried about the food because I'm not worried about the food at all. But in everything else, and I'm trying for peace for me, I started thinking about that. Peace for me is truly, I believe, me being focused on Christ, and peace is Christ. It has nothing to do with the other human beings around me, because that's all we are as human beings.
Right.
And we're all the same. And so I'm going into this saying my emotions and how I feel, blessed, joy, sad, depressed, that doesn't matter. What matters is our God came down to us for an eternal reason. And so going into every day and trying throughout the day to have an eternal perspective on everything. And if I just can have Christ and eternity as my perspective in every moment, then it doesn't matter that I'm self-controlled, and whatever happens, and however I feel, it doesn't matter, because in eternity, that's not what matters. What matters is Christ, and have I been as Christ-like as possible? If that makes sense to anybody. I don't know.
Well, yeah, and I love that, going in with that perspective and just staying in Christ, right? Staying in there with him, and no matter what happens. And here's the truth. Yes, we are humans. We do get our feelings hurt. We do get caught off guard, but we can always go to the throne room. This is where we get disconnected, where we think that we have to shoulder that, whatever somebody else is doing or not doing or how they're behaving. We tend to shoulder that, and we don't have to. We can simply just go right to the throne room and say, hey, Lord, my child is acting out right now, and I'm asking for your mercy. I'm asking for you to help me to love them through this and to respond in the right way. I mean, just going right to the throne room in that moment, and you don't have to go anywhere. You don't even have to go in the other room. You can be in the same room with them and be having that conversation with God. We have a helper. We have someone who's there willing to help us, and we just simply need to go there. And that's why I say, in all the years that we've done Fit and Focus and all the detoxes and everything, when I first started this out, I saw immediately that there's only a certain point that you can get to before you finally need the help of God. And it makes it so much easier when we just go ahead and add him into the equation. He's the answer to all of our equations, all of our challenges. If we would just go there first, life would be so much easier for us. And so why don't we do that? It's exactly what we need to be doing. So I can't go backwards now. Every Fit and Focus detox that we do, every day that we come together and we're coaching in this group and we're being accountable, Christ is going to be the center of this, because he is the one who makes it possible for us to get through this and to make the changes that we need to. And there's no doubt about it. I don't care how strong, how tenacious you are. I've seen some of the strongest people come in and out of Fit and Focus. While they were here, they did great. They stepped out and tried to do it on their own and kind of left God on the back burner. And then they come back, or they're like, can I come back? Right. I mean, I've seen that happen over and over, but we have an advantage. And it's a faith advantage. It's a Christ advantage, which is really super powerful. Anybody else want to share? Okay. So we've gotten a lot to chew on today. Let me go to more of the practical, tactical side of our call today. So just an FYI, I've sent out a memo, and I wanted to just say this in case you didn't see the memo or it didn't register with you, but we're going to keep going until Friday, December 22nd. I'm actually needing to be off that day because I've got family coming in. But what we're going to do is we're not going to have a formal get together in the mornings between the 22nd and but we'll come back together on Saturday, December 30th. That being said, I'm still going to leave the Zoom link up, and it's an opportunity, if you want to, starting Friday, if you want to jump on at 8:00 and see who shows up and check in with each other, you're absolutely welcome to do that. I have to have some downtime, and so I'm going to do that. So what that means is maybe some of my Fit and Focus mentors, maybe you decide that you want to take a day or just show up and see who shows up if God puts something on your heart. But you are welcome to be accountable. But my plan is we'll do the session on Thursday at 8 a.m. and then the next time that I will be back on formally will be Saturday, December 30th, and that's right before our detox starts. So that being said, I also have a slight change in the way that we're going to do the detox. So the detox is a 30-day. If you are a regular Fit and Focused, you're a regular member, then there's nothing that you really have to do to get registered for that. We'll just add you automatically. Some of you are on right now because you extended the rest of the challenge, and so you'll need to register for the detox, and I'm going to give you the link for that. Okay, there's that link. So I'm going to actually offer two different detox plans. We'll have the regular one that we have, but I'm also doing a detox. I went way back to the very first time that I did this, and I dropped like the 23 pounds. So I'm going to offer that for those that need to drop 10 to 25 pounds. So if you really, some of you are already at a good weight, you won't need to do that one. You won't need to do the one that the other one, the alternative one. But if you are somebody that you need to drop 10 to 25 pounds, you'll have a choice on that option. We'll send out the 30-day challenge guidebook on the 30th. So you'll get that and you'll be able to plan. And since on December 30th, I'll also just go over with you what your options are going to be for that. Okay. So any questions? Catherine?
Okay. I just wanted to say, Angie, I would be willing to jump on during that week you're off if anybody feels like they would want to check in, unless this is an opportunity for everybody just to enjoy their families and that. But I just wanted to put that out there. I don't know if you want to take a vote or if I just say, okay, I'll be on, such and such day if anybody needs to jump on. How would you like me to go about that since I'm willing to do that?
Well, if you want to do all the days, you can. If you want to do some of the day, what I would say, Catherine, is you just choose the days that you want to do, and we'll put that out on the calendar invites.
Okay. Okay. Well, I will look at the calendar today and maybe put that, kind of shoot that over to you, Angie, then. And because what's today? So we'll definitely be on together tomorrow, right? Because
Yes.
Friday is when you start your time off. So I'll know tomorrow maybe, and then we can share that. How about that? Okay.
That's good.
Catherine, I will just tell you right now, I'm going to have a house full of people here with me. And so the next day after Friday that I could really conceivably know that I could be on would be the 28th. That would be the first day. So count me out from Friday through the 28th for sure. Cause I just won't, my house will be full of people.
Right. And that may be a common, circumstance for a lot of people. So it would be fine if I put dates out there and nobody can jump on. That's fine. But I guess I know this gives me purpose, right? And gives me so that's helpful, but it's okay, whatever the outcome might be,
Yeah. So Carol is saying that she'll be on the 26th through the 29th. Okay.
So Catherine, it'll be fine. Just whoever jumps on. I plan to jump on because accountability is important. So
Okay.
we don't have to be the 30 minutes. Whoever jumps on, we jump on and say, hey, how's it going? Okay. Yeah,
if you have something to share or, whatever gets put on your heart to share, then sounds like Catherine, you're going to be the mentor. Do we want to just make it easy and say that you're going to jump on in the mornings at 8 o'clock?
Yes.
Irma
Sure.
second that.
Keep it simple, sure, make it consistent. Now, the only caveat to that, I will say, just because, my circumstances, I don't know what happens from day to day, but if certainly anything changes, I would put out maybe the email
Yeah.
attached to your former emails and just let everybody know that. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean that's fine.
Okay. Jennifer says she's gonna jump on every day. Muted, of course, because of kids. Hey, bring the kids. The more the merrier. Oh. Yeah. I'm gonna have a house full too, and it's gonna be and two baby girls. So I already know it's not gonna be, it's just not gonna be possible. All right. Well, I guess we've got that settled. So we'll be on tomorrow. I'll lead us tomorrow, and then Catherine will be on deck through the holiday. All right, ladies. All right. Well, I'm going to let you go, and I hope you have a wonderful day. I'll see my VIP business members at 12 noon Eastern time for our coaching clinic. Okay. All right. See y'all later. Bye.